my name is Dave Wells, and I am the former Director of Religious Education at the Cathedral of Most Sacred Heart of Jesus here in Knoxville. I served in that role from 2013 to 2018. And during that time, I had the opportunity to get to know many of the priests of our diocese, and I have enormous respect for them, as well as for the religious sisters and many of the dedicated lay employees who work for the church. Our priests offer their lives as a living sacrifice in love and service to Christ and his church. And I am privileged to call many of them my friends. As this story unfolded, I went from a concerned observer to become a voice for the voiceless, many of the priests who could not speak up publicly. Many of them reached out to me privately or followed me on social media where I was posting these stories. In fact, it was in response to the posts that I was making on social media that Bishop Stika started reaching out to me and texting me and emailing me and calling me over time to dispute many of these stories. Many friends have also privately messaged me and thanked me for my advocacy on behalf of our priests. I've also been able to support many of the journalists throughout this process, and I'd like to especially recognize J.D. Flynn from The Pillar, whose reporting has been invaluable, as well as Christine Niles from Church Militant, Brian Fraga from National Catholic Reporter, and locally here, Tyler Whetstone from Knoxville News Sentinel, who has been very helpful in getting the story to the people in the pews. Behind the scenes, I encouraged many concerned parishioners to write letters to church officials, both locally to the Apostolic Nuncio in Washington, as well as to the dicastery of bishops in Rome. Behind the scenes, we were able to build a broad coalition from very traditional Catholics to very progressive Catholics, all of whom agreed on one thing: Stika must go. We're here today because Rick Stika is not. He was asked to resign by the Pope. Many Catholics may be wondering, why has this come about? Ultimately, it is because he disobeyed the Pope, not Pope Francis, but Peter, our first Pope. In his first letter in the New Testament, St. Peter wrote, "I exhort the elders among you as a fellow elder, tend the flock of Christ that is in your charge, not for shameful gain, but eagerly, not domineering over those in your charge, but being examples to the flock." Rick Stika did not care for the flock entrusted to him. He did not protect the sheep from the wolves. Rick Stika did not provide a good example to his fellow elders, his priests. Rick Stika pressured them and bullied them. Some priests have left the priesthood because of him. Many were barely hanging on, praying for a change. Some even prayed in the words of Psalm 108, "Let his days be few and another take his office." So now I ask former parishioners and associates and all my Catholic friends to show support for your priests. Talk to them, write them, let them know you care. Pray for the church. Many churches, not just the Catholic Church, are dealing with issues around clergy sex abuse. Issues such as accountability for abusers and those in authority who enable them. Pray for wisdom and courage to face this issue and to bring about change. Above all, I ask you to pray for the victims. I know John Doe personally. I worked with him. I know he is a good man, and I know his story is credible. Pray that all victims of clergy sex abuse find healing and justice. Thank you.